tent, basically with a tarp. Oh, keep passing it around. It's okay. It's really, really easy to set up. If you guys want to peek in here, you'll see there's actually a butt ton of room in there. I use a second tarp as a ground tarp, keep moisture in my sleeping area. Uh, just because I'm out and about doesn't necessarily mean I have a sleeping kit. But basic to setting it up is you stake down your back two corners, and then your front two corners, you move a foot in, stake them down, and then you take your walking pole and you just tension it out. And that's it. That's setting up the whole tent. And then
are we going to take this down and then set it back up?
no, so there's a tarp in there. So tarps are Swiss Army knife of shelters in my book. The only thing that restrains a tarp is your imagination. You can set them up by running a lash line. Last year, I had a lash line going between two trees over here. Stretched the tarp over it, made a lean-to. You can make a low-profile shelter with them. The big thing tarps that a shelter has to do is one, it just has to keep you out of the weather. The big thing about it is know your wind direction. When I got here this morning, the wind was coming from that direction this way. You guys can see it's flowing up and over it. The advantage to one of these setups is because of the way it's built, I can put my fire in the ground right here. And it's going to keep the smoke out of my tent, but it'll reflect the heat into the tent, help keep me warm. And I tried something this year that a friend of mine I've done a lot of classes with that put me onto. And I really liked it. It's called the Cutlass Lash System. One of the big problems that I've always had with 550 cord, and if anybody's ever played with 550 cord, you can get this for like $5 at Walmart. You can cut it with your pocket knife, but you always got to melt the ends of it, or else it starts fraying out, starts coming apart. What 550 cord does. A while back, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he said, "Why don't you try this?" Give me some links to it, and it's really, really simple. Oh, this little headers. There's tied back the corner of it, up down to the stakes on the ground, and you just continue lashing your tent. 550 cord around and around. So that way you still have your long 550 cord instead of a whole bunch of little bitty pieces that are only good for one thing. So if you need to break down the limitation, you still have your entire length of 550 cord you can use. Especially in our country where we have a lot of predators we have to worry about. Grizz, black bear, cats. Anybody that's been in the backcountry knows you put your food up in a tree. Yeah, I'd much rather have my full length of 550 cord to do that with than not. So the lashes system, feel free to go take a look at it. This 550 cord is here because here you go, young man. Started tingling that. So what's the quick rule of thumb on hypothermia? How fast can it hit you in the backcountry? Even out here, because if anybody does not know, literally that way about 7 miles, there's a hunter out there that we've never found. And I've been on 4 searches since he disappeared, and we've never found a trace of him. That's what, 10 miles outside of town?
White Mountain?
Yep.
Yeah.
10 miles. We've never found that guy. I haven't even found a trace of him. So you do not have to go 30 miles into the wilderness. You do not have to go BFU, Wyoming to get lost and be in trouble. You can literally be a couple of miles outside of town and it's Wyoming. You'll disappear and never be found. So blue tarp, it's easy to spot from the sky. This tarp I use for a really big reason. Can anybody spot it? Shoot.
What was the question?
I picked this tarp for one very important reason. And you guys can, if you see it, you'll spot it real quick. Oh, dramas. Yeah, that's a good one. I chose it because this one actually has a mylar lining on the inside of it. That's a silver part. So that silver will actually reflect your body heat back into you. So even if you can't have a fire, your body heat will keep warming the tent up inside. It may not be 100% comfortable. You might have a little bit of sleepless night, but you'll be alive. Okay. So hypothermia, how fast can it hit in? You got any ideas? 3 minutes. How fast? Yeah, if you're soaking wet, 3 minutes is a really good number actually.
Yeah, for the sailor.
Like right now, what's the ambient temperature right now is what, 70 degrees?
Yeah.
But with that wind, anybody lived in Wyoming long enough, you know wind chill is everything you got to worry about. I mean, I'm sitting here in my fleece and I'm honestly still just a little bit chilly. Okay. So hypothermia is a big thing. Shelter is all about that, just getting you out of the weather, giving you a place to stay out of the weather. So being able to set your shelter up fast is important. My rule of thumb when it comes to shelter is you have to be able to do it inside of 15 minutes. Okay. So, hey, lady, crawl in there and grab that second tarp that I'm using for a ground fly. Feel free to sit in there. You can see how much room's in there.
Oh,
I did it.
Oh, what did we find?
I did it.
What'd you catch? Pricklies. Why is that important to know?
Pricklies. Because you don't want to lay in a bed of them.
Don't want to lay in a
dang.
bed
That
of
would
them.
be
The important thing
uncomfortable.
too is these pricklies, they stay in your skin, can cause infection. You do not want to be trying to keep alive and fight an infection at the same time.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so since she grabbed the tarp, she's in charge.
They don't hurt the
Everybody
tarp.
here, no, you're holding the tarp. Hello, boss.
Did you get everything?
Okay. So
If you feel
everybody that's
anything, let
here,
us know,
pitch
okay?
in. You are in charge though. Pick you a good spot. Your brother has the 550
I'm
cord.
her cousin.
Huh?
I'm her cousin.
That's fine.
Just roll with it.
Yeah.
Just roll.
Yeah.
Just roll with it. Just roll with it. Okay. You got the 550 cord. You've got the tarp. You got all these people around here to help you do it. So set up a shelter. Get together. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to make a game plan. If you want to try and make a lean-to, if you want to try and make a tarp tent, if you want to try and use my trekking pole out of here and try and build a tent like this, if you want to try and stretch from that tree to that tree and take the tarp over the top of it, you got tent stakes over here. I'll even give you
Brainstorm you two and figure out how you're going to create a shelter.
start. Yep, putting your brain together. I'll even be nice, and I will give you a soft rubber mallet. Soft rubber mallet, putting in your stakes. You got a lot of people, a lot of brain power here, but get everybody involved, think it out, okay? So you got 5 minutes, make a game plan.
I know what I know.
You know what you want to do?
So you have to communicate. Communicate to people what.
So this is a big part of being in a group. It's taking charge and it's communicating. You have to tell people what to do. It's just like, have you ever done first aid in school? What grade are you in? Okay, do you know what first aid CPR is?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you do first aid CPR with somebody, the first thing you're going to do is say, you're going to go call 911. You're going to go grab me the AED. I'm going to start compressions and you're going to give rescue breaths, right? You're giving everybody jobs. Same thing here. You give everybody jobs so that everybody knows what they're doing and they're not all staring at you. Try not to keep it all on yourself. Divide the workload up between your group, okay?
Tell them your idea and then delegate who you want to do what. Speak loud.
We're
For the
gonna
diaphragm.
hang.
See if I talk
We're
like
gonna
this,
hang the tarp
it's not gonna
over.
be good. But when we talk like this, if people are gonna be like, what are you saying? And it's gonna get in your personal space. It's gonna be really, really weird. But if you stand here and you're like, hey, we're gonna put a tarp up because we got storm coming in and I don't want to die, you're gonna do this. So speak from the diaphragm. Okay.
I'll
Let's go.
say it.
Let's go.
What do you want to do with the tarp?
I'll say it. I want to throw it up over that.
You wanna
So
put it over the tree?
how is that going to happen?
What's that? The tree.
Okay. Who's gonna help you?
Me.
Tall people.
You got start picking people. You got him here to help you. You have him here.
You.
So
Nope,
delegate.
I can't help.
Will you two put the tarp over the branch?
You
Talk
should
loud.
probably hang it on the lower branch.
Embrace your voice. The most powerful tool God ever gave anybody is your voice. You got to learn to use it.
It's in that side of this.
Look at the tarp. I don't think it's going to be big enough to fold it over.
Yeah, I was thinking then we're gonna have to put the rope.
I mean, it'll be a good awning.
All it's gonna do is protect you a little bit from the weather. You'd be surprised how much a windbreak can save you.
Well, remember, this side was more facing you. Side of that side of it.
I live in Texas, but I'm
Okay.
from Food Valley. I used to live there, but I've been in Texas.
So just out of curiosity, why would we choose yellow 550 cord for what we just did? Very visible. Very, very visible. Who said that? Tripping? Ha! That's the big reason. Because if you're out here and you trip over your own guidelines and you smash your face into a rut, suddenly you have a medical emergency that you're gonna have to deal with on top of staying alive. And we want to keep things kissed. Keep it simple, stupid. So, what does everybody think of the kids' shelter they just built?
I think he's
5-star.
I think it's really open, but
next too.
we'll provide shelter if you need it.
Especially if it's coming from that direction.
Okay.
But if it's coming from this direction, might want to rethink things.
But you said the good thing on putting on this side because the wind's coming from that way. So,
Correct.
so that was the whole thing with the stop.
I like how you
This is-
utilize the tree trunk.
Solid windbreak.
Yeah.
And what is number one addition to cold? It's going to be wind. So that's why we have a huge thing about in Wyoming all the time. We talk about wind chill. It's 30 degrees, but we got 6-mile-an-hour wind. So it's actually guys down to what, 20 below zero? Wind chill, windbreak, big thing. What else is this kind of shelter gonna help us with right here?
We had a little fire right there. Classroom land there.
Oh my God. Pretty sure you'd be stripping down your skivvies and roasting hot dogs and it would be awesome. Okay. Fire pit right here. Awesome setup. The only thing I would change on a fire pit is I would not do a fire pit above ground. I would do what's called, and I'm sure he's going to talk about it over at his station. I would do what's called a Lakota fire pit. Okay. You've never seen a Lakota fire
I know
pit?
what that is.
You know what that is? How about you tell us what that is?
You dig a hole underground. So mostly because it doesn't burn. You dig a hole underground and make a fire in it mostly so it can't burn stuff that is burnable around you.
So you're 50% right. I'm going to add to that. So a real Lakota fire pit is not only underground, but you dig a second hole about 1.5 feet out, and then you tunnel underground from that hole to this hole. That allows you to pull air in from out there and feed your fire from the bottom. Okay. So Lakota fire pit right here. Yeah, I'd be pretty comfortable here for quite a while. You know, it's enough to get us out of the weather and keep us alive until we can build a better shelter. And that's where, that's where you would buy the most precious commodity in a survival situation there is. It is time. It doesn't matter what kind of gear you have. It doesn't matter how prepared you are. If you don't have time or buy yourself time, it's a moot point. You have to buy time. That's what you're looking for. You know, this right here, anybody got an idea? After we got done with the intermediate conversing and everything, how long did it take the kids to get the shelter put up?
Oh, not long.
Not long.
Mm-mm.
Way under 10 minutes, wasn't it?
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah. Very, very impressive. So I'm going to give you a 7
Good job, guys.
out of 10. Cool. Well done.
That's
However,
bad thing.
I'm a big believer in doing pros, cons, and improves. Okay. So pros, you came up with a game plan, you executed your game plan, and you laid people out. Cons, this is something we need to improve on. Somebody tells you to do something, like untangle the rope and get it ready for the tent. That's not something you like. Like I said, we're trying to buy time. We want to use maximum amount of time. You need to take care of your job. Okay. It's a team effort. You got to work together. Okay. Learn to speak, girlfriend, from the diaphragm. Practice yelling at people. It's okay. God gave you a voice for a reason. Okay?